Hey there, Wendy here with Jazzydoodledesigns, and let's take a look at what I colored in May. I colored 11 pictures, so that's a little more than normal. So let's take a look. Just start with the one on top. So this is, well, you can read it. It translates into fur balls or hair balls. And it's Diane DeFore, and I really like this book. It is so stinking cute. And I did this page. It's a group color along with Lovella's coloring. And I encourage you, if you have this book, every month they pick a different picture and everyone colors it, and I kind of like that. So I used my Prismacolor, I used pan pastels, and I used a little bit of the gold Winka Stella. Or is it Winka Stella? No, it's Nouveau Shimmer. Sorry. Which is essentially the same thing. You know, it's this. It's called Aqua Shimmer. This is the glitter gloss. Here it is. Aqua Shimmer. It's called Midas Touch. And it just adds that little bit of gold sparkle, which I thought was kind of cool. And then I went around it, I believe, with the Signo gold, just around the edges. So I'll try and turn it to where you can see it. But I had a lot of fun on that color along. So that is the first one. Next up is Mystery Island. This is a Coco Wyo book, which this is my first Coco Wyo book, and I got it in my last haul. I'll try and tilt it so there's no glare. Always hard with these really glossy books. But what intrigued me about this was it says that when you color it, you're supposed to cut out each page and then you tape them together and it becomes one big picture. Now, we'll see how far I get in that project, but I did color one. I colored this one, and I didn't write down what pencils I used, but I think I used my Holbeins because I'm really loving those pencils, Wendy. That's what they are. But I just think these characters in this book are so stinking cute. I did add a little white Posca to it as well, but I just think they're adorable. Next up is Teresa Goodrich's Garden Gnomes. And let me change my light. I got a new bulb. I'll be right back. Okay, that's better. I think that light bulb was going to go out, and it was kind of flickering. So I have had a ton of requests in this book, and this one was from Casey. I'm so sorry, I don't have it in front of me. It's like 0877 or 0788, something like that. But she asked me to do this greenhouse page. And so I did. And her request was certain pencils, one of which was Brutfuner. So I used Brutfuner squares and I colored it. And if you watch the color along, at one point I don't have this metallic on the greenhouse. I just had it colored with like black and gray. And I really like that a lot better. I decided I wanted to try this metallic, and I think what happened was then I had the metallic and I had the black lines, and that didn't really look right to me. So, and then of course, because I'm impatient, I had kind of went over the black lines here and there, so it wasn't even like a straight black line. And so I thought, well, I'll just go over the black lines with the metallic, and then it just got a little chunky. So I don't, like, I always try and assess my pages, like what do I like, what do I not like, what worked and what didn't, because I think we have to try different things in order to evolve as an artist. So I don't think there's, like, I'm not unhappy with this page, even though I preferred it before I did the metallic, because I learned something. And part of it is I learned, Wendy, you should just be a little more patient. Because I think had the metallic been in between the lines completely to where the rows were nice and even and the metallic was thinner, I may have liked it better. Also, I don't hate it. I love how the greenhouse turned out. I felt like it was successful. I kind of winged it because when I do my Disney pictures, I'm always trying to replicate what is in those books. And so when I look at pictures of greenhouses, it always kind of looked like you could see everything, but it was a little like hazy. And so I feel like the white Prisma really did a good job of creating that for us. And then making sure that these are slightly darker and more defined, I think really lends to the effect. So overall, I am super stoked by how this page turned out. The lady that requested this page reached out to me and she was happy with how it turned out. So that makes me feel really good. I've gotten another request for this page, which I'm planning to do, but most likely in the closer to fall. And a lovely subscriber named Jolene reached out to me just today and asked me if I would do this page. She wants to give it as a Christmas gift to her daughter because her daughter and her dad used to go fishing all the time, and I thought that was really sweet. I really hope I can do it justice and she's pleased with it. So anyway, I think this will be a perfect one to do in the summer. So I'm going to add this to my do list. I'm always open to what you guys want to see on the channel. That is the goal of my channel, is to build a community and to give you guys the content that you're looking for. And I love working in the gnome, so I'm never sad about that. So anyway, that's the one I did in there. Next up is this page. Now y'all know that I do a lot of color alongs with Christine from, I know I'm going to say it wrong, but I think it's Sync Colors, or I don't know, it's some Frenchy thing. But it's CINQCOLOURS. She's Canadian, so she spells colors wrong. But we forgive her for that. But anyway, we did this page and she was kind enough to scan it in and so I could print it off as a PDF. As you all, if you guys haven't seen it, it came from this book, Fairy Stories Special, 40 Magical Fairy Tale Designs by Fabiana Antanasio. She is one of the ladies that colors in or illustrates the Mythographics series. But before she did that, she did a lot of these fairy tale stories. And I think there's even a flip through on the channel of this. It's a super cute book, but it is bigger. I think it's, well, you see it's with a piece of paper here. So it's probably 12 by 8.5. So it's a good size piece of paper, a little intimidating. So she scanned it for us and we chose the Cinderella page, and I will flash hers up on the screen here. She did a fantastic job. Now, one of the things that she did a little differently, we both used a little bit of a more toothy paper. This is a Bristol vellum. I think she used Nina vellum and I used Spring Hill Bristol vellum. Mine is pretty toothy, which I really like with colored pencil because you can make a lot of layers. But you also have a tendency to have more of this textured look, which I'm okay with. And like, I left the trees with some texture, but I did struggle a little bit here in the sky to get rid of some of that texture. Now I could have went in with something like, you know, a Gamsol or something like that, but I'm not opposed to like the little white dots. Some people are really freaked out about it. I'm not, but I will say she based hers with marker and she got a much smoother look. And when you're working on a PDF, you have options. So that is something that I probably should have considered, was doing a little basing with markers or even Neocolor or Inktense or something like that. But I didn't. I just dived right in. There is some glitter and shiny bits on it, which I really like how those turned out on his hat, here on all of his decor. I think it lends to the whole royalty versus, you know, maid, impoverished Cinderella. But I am pleased with how this turned out. I really like her hair color, and I like the color scheme I chose. So, but take a look at Christine's, because woo, very nice. Next up is Mina Raisa Dirge Africa by Rita Berman. We're coloring everything in this book on the channel. So I did page 27, and what I did was I used, if you've been on the channel, you know I went on a little fine liner craze. And so I wanted to use the fine liners, and so I used pointillism to color this page. I'll try and zoom in when I edit this so you can really see, but it is nothing but dots. I did color the background here with Polychromos Ivory, and I colored this piece right here in the center with Prismacolor Violet, Parm Violet, Grade Violet. I think there was 4. Grade Violet, Parm Violet, Violet. There's one in the middle too. Y'all probably know. You can take a look on the color along. And then I wanted these to look like water droplets. And overall, I think I achieved that. You know, they're not perfect, but I really enjoyed doing this page. I've had a lot of comments from people intimidated, thinking that it would take a really long time, or they didn't know if they had the patience. Well, y'all know I am like the most impatient person in the world. For me, I think it feels fast, even if it takes you a while, because you're constantly moving, right? So your hand is going fast-ish. And so it doesn't feel tedious to me. And so I really enjoyed it. And if I would have looked at this maybe not knowing what I know now, I might have felt the same way, like, oh, but there's like a bazillion dots. But you're moving really quick, and you're not coloring the entire, it's not like you're filling in every little gap. So it really doesn't take as long as you might think. Now, I did each little segment showing you how I did it in real time on the video. And then I said, okay, I'm going to do this. I did like these 2 leaves, and then I would stop and do the other leaves. So, because I didn't want it to be, I wanted some real time because I wanted to see how long it takes to do each leaf. But I don't do any of my videos the entire thing in real time. I do it in 2 times speed so you can slow it down if you want to see it in real time. Anyway, I'm off on a tangent. Sorry about that. But anyway, I really like how this turned out. By the way, I used a mix of fine liners, the Arteza Iconic, the Tripus, Staedtlers, and the Stabilo 88s. So I did several in my Disney book. Guys, I am really making headway on this book. Could I have marked these to make it easier? Yes. Did I? No. Okay, here's one. Let's see, I did this page here. I used the Holbein pencils and the Posca, and I really enjoy using the Holbein pencils. I know they're not for everybody. I know they're pricey, but guys, I really, really like them. Who do I think they would be for? Probably people that like Prismacolor, because they are a little bit of a softer pencil. Not as soft as Prisma, not as hard as Polychromos, but I feel like they're a little more on the soft side. But I really like how they turned out. I felt like they blended really nice. I did use the melts, and somewhere I have a little pen that came with it that, you know, looks like kind of like a Tombow colorless blender, and you use it like that, or a Derwent blender, and I'm not seeing it right in front of me. So, but I did use that, and I did feel like it blended well. I will say, from what I understand, that melts is only for oil-based pencils, so I haven't tried it with Prisma, but my understanding is that it's designed for the oil base. I'll be right back when I find the next page. Okay, found the next one. This one, once again, I think I used the Holbeins. I didn't write it down. If I don't write it down, it's just gone from the brain. But anyway, I did this page with colored pencil, and then of course the Posca pen. Okay, here's the next one. This one I did with acrylic paint. So just, obviously not this color, but I used craft paint. You water it down and you use it as a base. I really like how this works in this book. The reason is because when you do that, it gives your paper a tooth. It also really, you can see my darks got dark and my brights are bright, and I really liked it. So I used that, and I used the Color pencils with it. And of course some, probably some Posca. I always use a little bit of white for the Posca. But I will be doing some techniques on the channel using that. I learned that from Dee Dee Williamson. So that's a fantastic technique. Okay, next up is this adorable one, Mickey and Minnie. I used Holbein pencils and Posca acrylic marker. But I really like how soft I was able to get. Holbein has some beautiful desaturated, like, look at these colors. I just think they're beautiful. And so I really like how this one turned out. Okay, this page I did with the Holbein pencils. It says April because I actually did it in April, but I didn't talk about it in my April completed pages. So I thought I would throw it in with May. So I'm sure I'll confuse the crap out of myself later on when I'm doing this. But once again, I'm always impressed by the vibrancy and the depth of color I can achieve with the Holbeins. So, and I found one more. This is a whip. It's not quite done. I still got to put, like, you know, the sparkle and stuff on this, and probably do some blending out, but we are really close with this one as well. This is also with the Holbeins because I really was excited when I got them. All right, so that's it for this book. I'm going to leave that in there so I know, because you know me, I never have a whip. I'm kind of excited about having a whip. I've got one more book to show you. that's this one. I did a color along with the talented Jody with J.I. Colorist. All of these channels I will link in the description below. Christine has an Instagram, and Jody has an Instagram, but she also has a YouTube channel, so you should check her out. But we did our first color along together, and we did this page. And I will flash hers up here because I think hers turned out fantastic. And once again, I love buddy colors because I think it's so interesting how you can take the same picture and have two very different, albeit beautiful, results. I love what Jody did. Her background is just fantastic. And we both used pan pastels on our background. I guess I'm into dots. I dotted this, the spider web, and I really like how that turned out. I wonder, looking at it now, how cool would it be if you had like an iridescent glitter pen, like a white pearlescent glitter pen, you know, to where, because I like the white, but what if it had a little bit of shimmer? I think that would be fantastic. This page has no shimmer at all. I used Black Widow pencils on this, which I didn't realize the irony of using Black Widow pencils when doing a spider web. But on the color along, there is a color along on this one on the channel, and I talk about spider webs and how interesting they are. So if you're interested in that, I don't talk about spiders because I know people don't like spiders. But I thought some of the stuff that I learned about spider webs was really interesting. And so anyway, that's it for this month. I was kind of proud of myself. Oh no, I did one more. Where's my Africa book? I did one more. I forgot. I got so excited about our pointillism. I also did page 73. And this was at the beginning of the month. I used Inktense for 100% of it, with the exception of a jelly roll that I used for the white dots. And boy, I never realized how many dots I really put in my pages until until doing this. But I guess I'm a little dotty. Yeah. By the way, the bad puns, those are free. You just get those as a gift. I really like how this Inktense page turned out. I did 2 layers of Inktense. So I did a whole first layer, let it dry completely, because that's really important, and then went back and did another layer, and then I went in and added my highlights with the jelly roll once it dried. So that's it. I do need to fill in my progress sheet in the back here. I did the 73, but I haven't done 27 yet. So look for more pages to come in this book. And until next time, happy coloring. Thank you for watching another video from Jazzydoodledesigns. If you enjoy adult coloring content, please consider subscribing. You can now find me on Instagram and Facebook as well. I welcome all comments and suggestions. Don't forget to like the video before you go. And until next time, take care.